Hey guys! Alright, so I'm here. Thanks to your guys' encouragement, I decided to make some more cooking videos. I really appreciate your encouragement because I wouldn't have done this at all or even thought to do this. So I figured I'd do one per week in December, just four of them. So this will be week 1 of 4. And today we're going to do cannoli bites. So here are the ingredients. Alright, so here are the ingredients. Sorry that it took me a little while. I forgot the ricotta cheese, and Andrew and I had to run to the store. But we have them now. Alright, so this recipe that I have, it calls for making 24 of them, of the cannoli bites. And I don't want to make that many, so we're just going to make 6. I've broken everything down to 1/4 of the recipe. But if you want to make the 24, just it's the same technique, just quadruple the recipe. And I'll put the original recipe and then also put down the broken down measurements. So what you need first are these puff pastry sheets, phyllo tart shells they called for, which are stored in halves. So I just went with the sheets. We're going to mold them up and I'll show you how we're doing that. Then you need, and we're just going to use 6. Then you need half a tablespoon of granulated sugar, which is in here, along with cinnamon. We're going to mix that up into cinnamon and sugar, and that you just need 1/8 of cinnamon. So we'll mix that together, and then butter, half a tablespoon of butter. So this is kind of the first step right here, but this is what we're going to use later on. We also have ricotta cheese. So we're just going to use 1/4 of this container instead of the whole thing, because that's all we're using for this. Normally you'd use the whole container if you're making all 24. And we have a little bit more than 1/4 of a cup of confectionery sugar. It's supposed to be, a little bit less. I'm sorry, less than 1/4 of a cup of confectionery sugar. And we're gonna make some orange zest with orange. We'll do that in a little bit. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. It's a little hard to see it. I'll try another light container. And then some mini chocolate chips that we'll put on at the end. So these are the ingredients. Now let's get it going with the first step. Oh, something I forgot to mention with the tools for this one. So you have a mixing bowl, that's pretty basic. We're going to need a little muffin tray, mini muffin tray. Plastic bag. We're going to put the mix in there, and then we're going to cut the end off later on. And if you have something for the orange zest, that's a little bit better. That's great if you have some type of grater. I don't have that, so I'm just going to use the knife to do that. And this, which I picked up, I've never had one of these, and it's all frayed, and that's just the way that it came. I guess that's the way that it is. This is a baking brush. It's not a basting, or it's not a basting brush. They seem to be the same thing, but we're going to use this. They're pretty inexpensive. I think this was like under $3, and it was there were 2 of them in there. So these are the tools. Gotta have my tools. Okay, so here we go with the puff pastry sheets. So I'll show you what they look like. Now I've already tried this earlier, and so some of it has been used, but it comes out like this. I wasn't even sure what to expect when I got this, because I had never done this before. It kind of comes in folds of 3. My hands are clean. Kind of comes in like a tri-fold. I'm going to take out the one that I've already started using. And these are frozen. So if they're frozen, you're going to need to let them thaw, or you can put them in the microwave for 15 seconds on one side. Check it. If it's not unfrozen enough, flip it again, do another 15 seconds. So here we go. This one, I'd already used the top layer. We're breaking this top one off because we're just going to make 6 out of this. I'm going to cut it into 6 strips. And then, but first we'll defrost. So put it in the microwave, wrapped in a paper towel on a plate. Okay. So it was in there for about 15 seconds. I don't know if it's going to be very easy to show how it is. It's a little bit frozen in the middle, but we're getting a little movement. You can see it's a little more flexible, but it's still pretty hard on these spots. So we're going to put it again, a loose paper towel around it, flipped it over, I think. I don't remember which side now. Should have flipped it over. All right. Loosely wrap it around, put in another 15 seconds, see what happens. So that was good. That's good. All right, so here we have, this is pretty flexible. I don't want it to break. Now if you can kind of see the consistency. Snowplow, snowing today. All right, so I'm going to cut it into 6 strips. Now I did this last time. I've only done this one time before, and I'll show you guys. Ooh, this is very soft. I don't know if you can see. It might have defrosted a little too long. Shouldn't have done it as long. All right. So what I did last time was I used these 6 strips and I kind of folded them up where it almost became a U. And I'll show you the results of that. Didn't end up using as much cannoli filling, but it was still pretty good. But what I might want to try doing this time is shaping a couple and seeing how that comes out, since they're not the shells. Now, if you have the shells, you just butter them as we're about to show you, and you put them on a cookie sheet. And you don't have to do any of this cutting or shaping. All right. So there we go. Now we're going to spread them out because we're going to put butter and cinnamon sugar on them. So I want to have room to do that. But I'll show you how the other ones came out. These were the ones that I had previously made. There we go. See how it's kind of a U as opposed to all the way around? That's because, here's the other one. Still good though, still tasty. That's because I just used the strips and just kind of folded them up, which worked. But let's see, I'm gonna try shaping this one. Let's see how it turns out. This is just total guesswork. I'm just smushing this one. They said you could roll it kind of like dough. Although there's a bit of kind of flouriness. I don't think that's working out very well. Nope. No. Nope, we'll give that one a try like this. The rest we're just going to use like strips because it turned out okay before. But we'll see how this one goes. All right, so now you're going to take the sugar and the cinnamon and mix them together till they're well blended. And you get a nice mix, and it smells great. There we go. That is not well blended, but I'll do a little more. Well blended should be well blended. All right, we're going to melt this butter. Okay, so I melted the butter for 20 seconds. There we go. Now we're going to use these cool new tools. Here's the brush. We're going to brush both sides of these strips, oops, as well as the weirdly shaped one that I now have. All right, once we get one side done, we're going to flip it over to the other side. I didn't finish these, but I will do that after I shut the camera off. And then go back to the original side. You don't have to, but I just do. And then we're going to sprinkle using your spoon or your clean fingers. Oh, that's a little much. Just sprinkle the cinnamon and sugar on top. All right, we're going to do that for all 6 of them. Or all 24 if you're doing the whole thing. Okay, so now we're going to put these strips into the muffin tray. Let's see. I am very curious as to how this circle one is going to turn out. If it's going to be any different. So just kind of lay it in there. As it bakes, it will start to kind of bloom like a flower, I guess. So you don't want to have it too smushed in there. Just kind of laying it on top. You don't need to really smush it. And since I'm not using all 24, I'm just kind of spacing them out so they have their own space. Doesn't really matter where you put them. Just want to give them some room, especially when I try to fill them afterwards. We'll just give space. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to preheat the oven to 425. Maybe I should have done that sooner. Then we're going to put these guys in there for 8 minutes. All right, let's put these to the side. Now we're going to let the oven heat up. Should have been already warmed up, so I could just put it in the oven right now, but it's going. And then we are going to make the cannoli mixture that's going to go inside. Okay, so now for the cannoli mixture filling. So we have the ricotta cheese. So it's a quarter of a container. So it's 15 ounces of container, so that's 3.75 ounces. We're just kind of eyeing out. And then when we have the confectionery sugar, vanilla, and orange zest we're gonna have to make. So if you have one of those nice zesters, it's like a little grater, that is great. That would be a great thing to have. I don't have that. So this clean orange, I'm taking the orange zest. I'm just gonna use a knife and just kind of take some of the top. You're just trying to get the top parts without going to the actual orange, kind of just like parts of the skin, if that makes sense. And hopefully I'm doing this correctly. We only need a quarter of a teaspoon. If I was making all 24, it'd probably be a lot better to have the actual tool. So I'm just kind of almost like whittling. All right, making a mess. But that should be about it. Yeah, it's about maybe a little more. That's a good quarter of a teaspoon. There we go. Show you the orange zest. There you go. Okay. So we're going to put all of these together. Put all this together, and we will mix it up. Sorry. All right. So we're mixing it all together. Having a whisk would be better, but a fork works too. It smells great. I smell the orange. I can smell the vanilla. Really, really is nice. So you want to get all mixed up, so you don't see any kind of the sugar not blended in. You don't want to see any of that. Okay, there we go. So that is the filling. So we've got the timer set for 8 minutes for the shells. We're going to let them finish, and then we just have to put this inside and put some chocolate chips on top. So let's do that. Oh, I almost forgot. That's right. So the recipe suggests that you put all the filling in a bag and then cut off the ends so you can just put it into the shells. I tried that. I don't think you need to do that. I think you can just scoop it out, but we'll, I'll show you guys how I did it. I fold over the edge of the bag just so it makes it a little easier. You're not fighting the top to get into it. It kind of just holds itself together a little better. One of these little scoop things that are really good for getting all of the filling. I just got this today. I've always wanted one of these because they just really seem to get everything off the edges of whatever you're making. Now when I made it last time, it was more than needed, so don't worry about what you're not going to get out of the bag. But again, I think you can just use a spoon, take it out of there. All right, so now we have our filling mix. We can close it up, wait until these shells are done. I'm going to try to get it all on one side here, so when I cut this end, it's just like a clean cut. All right, timer just went off. Let's see how those little shell things came out. Cute. There we go. So they are the little U's. So we're going to let them cool down a little bit. I'm going to leave them on top of the stove to cool before we put the cannoli mix in, or else it would just melt. Okay, we pretty much made it to the final step at this point. So we have the bag. Again, I don't know if you need to do this, but we will cut off the corner so we can pour this into. Oh, these shells came out pretty nice, by the way. I don't know if you can hear the kind of the crispiness. This is the one that was the round one. Doesn't really look too much different than the others. Maybe we'll hold it a little better, but all right. So here we go. Hands are clean. We're going to use this little thing that's like a pastry thing. I think I made the hole too big on mine. And then you just put it into each one. Oh, we're also going to top them with chocolate chip cookies and then dust them with a little more confectionery sugar. I'm doing this on a paper plate before I put it on a nice plate or whatever plate you would serve it on, because this can get messy and I want a nice clean look on the other plate, especially when we dust them and things are falling. So, see, I think this might be better with just a spoon. I could be wrong. Ooh, yeah. Because there's also so much, well, I guess not that much, but there's quite a bit left over. Oh my goodness. And this is the plate we're going to be putting on them. So, let's put the chocolate chips on first. Oh, move this back so you can see. Put the chocolate chips on. Not a certain number, whatever you feel. Just make sure you have clean hands because this is all handwork here. All right. Got the chocolate chips on. So it's a pretty basic recipe. You don't have to do too much, which I like. All right, we're going to sprinkle on the confectionery sugar. Yeah, short time baking, only 8 minutes baking, and not a ton to do. You guys have had great encouragement for me to do this, and I really appreciate it. I know Trevor suggested a Junior's cheesecake, Junior's New York cheesecake, which I looked into, and it feels too complicated for me at this point, but it's something that I aspire to do. I'm not giving up on it. All right, so that's kind of messy there. And then that should hopefully look nice. Nice, clean. Ooh. Have some going off to the side. Let's try to get that excess off. There we go. Okay. Put that in the middle. All right. Let's get this out of here. And here you have the finished product. Ah! Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Cannoli bites. Stick them into Andrew and try them. Yeah. Alright, yay! Here's Andrew. Gonna try the cannoli bites.
Let's go. Alright.
Here you go.
Okay. Oh.
Sorry.
Good.
You're very sweet. I know you're not into big sweet stuff.
That was good though.
Oh, thanks. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.
2 thumbs up.
Oh, thank you. Alright, bye. See you next week for the next one. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for encouraging me. I hope you guys don't regret it.